Satellite images now appear to confirm significant damage to U.S. military installations across the Middle East. New imagery from commercial satellite firms Planet and Airbus shows that 2 satellite communications terminals were destroyed at the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Manama, Bahrain. The strike marks one of the most serious escalations in the widening confrontation between Iran and the United States. According to an analysis by the New York Times, drawing on satellite imagery, authenticated videos, and official U.S. military statements, Iran struck at least 6 American military sites after Washington and Tel Aviv initiated attacks on Iranian territory. The assessment paints a stark picture of a coordinated and far-reaching response unfolding across multiple fronts. Exactly how many missiles or drones were launched remains unknown. It is also unclear how many were intercepted before reaching their targets. The fog of war lingers. But what cannot be obscured is the damage. Cornerstone of American naval power in the Gulf. Fireballs erupt against the skyline. Shockwaves ripple across the harbor. At the time of the strike, the port, typically crowded with U.S. warships, appeared largely empty, an eerie detail that only deepens the sense of how close the confrontation has come to direct, large-scale losses at sea. Satellite images taken Sunday reveal the aftermath in chilling clarity. Communications infrastructure obliterated, multiple buildings heavily damaged, others reduced to twisted debris and dust. What was once a symbol of American maritime dominance now bears the visible scars of a rapidly widening conflict. In Kuwait, images from Ali Al Salam Air Base show collapsed rooftops following reported Iranian strikes. U.S. officials say 3 American service members were killed and 5 seriously wounded in an attack on Camp Arifjan, though no satellite imagery of that specific strike has yet surfaced. In Erbil, Iraq, footage shows repeated strikes on the military installation at Erbil International Airport, where U.S. forces are stationed. Smoke and flames were seen rising into the sky. By Sunday morning, reports claim at least 4 structures damaged or destroyed, with fires still burning into early Monday. In the United Arab Emirates, satellite imagery from Jebel Ali Port shows smoke rising from a large building inside a fenced U.S. Navy recreational zone. Though not a formal U.S. base, Jebel Ali remains one of the Navy's most frequently used ports in the region. A widely circulated video from Camp Buehring in Kuwait appears to show a drone flying over the installation before exploding inside the perimeter. The exact impact site and damage level remain unverified. Across Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates, multiple facilities have sustained damage. While no fatalities have been reported outside Kuwait, the sheer scale of the destruction has sent shockwaves through military and diplomatic circles alike. Critical infrastructure, including satellite communication systems, has been damaged, striking at the invisible backbone that underpins modern military coordination. The disruption raises urgent and unsettling questions about the vulnerability of U.S. military installations across the region, facilities long assumed to be hardened, shielded, and prepared. If communications can be shaken, what else lies exposed? For now, the situation remains dangerously fluid. Assessments are ongoing, responses are being weighed, and the full extent of the damage is still coming into focus. But one thing is clear, tensions across the Middle East are not merely simmering, they are intensifying, edging the region closer to a wider and potentially far more volatile confrontation.
Beirut woke to fire. Before dawn, Israeli warplanes roared low over Lebanon's capital, unleashing airstrikes on the southern suburbs after Hezbollah launched rockets and drones toward a military base near Haifa. The escalation comes amid surging regional tensions following the reported killing of Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei. Plumes of thick smoke rose over residential districts in Dahiya as explosions shattered windows and jolted families awake. According to the Israel Defense Forces, the strikes began after Hezbollah fired a barrage targeting the Mishmar HaCarmel missile defense site south of Haifa. The IDF said it intercepted at least one projectile, while others landed in open areas. No Israeli casualties were reported.
Hezbollah opened fire last night. He knew exactly what he was doing. We had warned him. He will pay a very heavy price for this. We are fully prepared, indeed very well prepared. We have mobilized nearly 100,000 reserve soldiers. Dozens of battalions, brigades and divisions are positioned to defend our northern border and are ready for all possible scenarios, both in defense and in offense. All of our options are currently on the table. We are continuously conducting situational assessments, and all options, every single option, is on the table.
The Israeli Air Force launched multiple waves of strikes across Lebanon, hitting Beirut's Dahiya suburb, the Bekaa Valley, and southern regions near Tyre. Israel's Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir, told troops to prepare for many days of intense fighting, declaring the start of what he described as an offensive campaign against Hezbollah.
We have launched an offensive campaign against Hezbollah. We are not just on the defensive, Firana. We are now going on the offensive. We need to prepare for several days of very intense fighting. Strong defensive readiness is required, and continuous offensive action now, in waves, all the time, and of course constantly seizing opportunities.
Urgent evacuation warnings were issued for approximately 55 villages and towns in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley, signaling expectations of prolonged confrontation.
The first time, three explosions went off. A little while later, we went up to the roof and found that 3 explosions had been right behind us, amidst the smoke. But after about 10 minutes, another explosion occurred directly behind us, and we all rushed downstairs to escape. Then, after another 10 minutes or so, the final strike came down.
There were 3 consecutive airstrikes, one right after the other. And thankfully, by God's grace, we found them all safe and sound, and we were able to bring them back with us.
Hezbollah, for its part, said the assault on northern Israel was retaliation for Khamenei's killing and was carried out in defense of Lebanon and its people. The consequences on the ground are mounting. Lebanon's health ministry says at least 31 people were killed in Israeli strikes. Scores of residents fled Beirut's southern suburbs as smoke billowed from damaged buildings and the sound of warplanes echoed overhead. Associated Press journalists reported buildings shaking violently as explosions ripped through the early morning calm. Lebanese government officials had previously urged Hezbollah not to enter the conflict in support of Iran, fearing a devastating new war. Now that fear may be materializing.